Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I have a non-bingo rack, but I do have Korma and Chi, so opportunities to get rid of the queue. Both of those likely to be better than changing. Caver is good, so I have Korma and Caver. Is there anything better? I don't think so. And I draw a couple of S's. I have Fury Osos through an O. O of Korma, not in the right spot. So, any other bingos here? I have the OUS ending. Key takes an S and a D at the end. So, let me consider the floaters. Does the C assist? Don't think so. How about the A? No, F and V don't look good, and the Y doesn't look good. So I could play fours and keys, and this has the advantage, well, it gets rid of F and U, scores quite well, 39 points, attracts opponent to the top of the board, although nothing massive available, and leaves the Korma hook available for my S. So I could be missing a bingo here, but I'm going with this. I draw the J. No bingo. I'm expecting opponent to play at the top. If he doesn't, I can play Jai, J-A-I. Is there anywhere else for that? Adji is its anagram. Wow, that stays available. That's good. Has opponent created anything at the bottom? Well, I can't put anything hot next to the E. And what I like about Jai is that it totally sorts the rack out. Really good rack leave of tins. So Jai for 37. Wow, I was optimistic that I might have something a bit bingo-y, but I draw 3 consonants. So not seeing a bingo. Floating A and E. Well, close to a bingo, but I'm not seeing one, and I still can't use this hook or this spot next to the E of Z. Jai takes an L at the end. So priority now to play off the V and one of the R's. And try and hang on to the S, I think. Although I could play Striven in row 12, taking out this danger. Well, opponent's gone there. Has provided a floating O, but that doesn't assist. So what to do? I could just play var through this A. It doesn't score very much, but the rack leave is good, just about. Especially with the floating A. Trains is a fantastic 6-letter set. It's slightly vulnerable in that there are no more floating vowels available. The O is only partially available. But I only need to draw 1 vowel to have a good rack. Can I play off 1 more consonant? All of these consonants are good and bingo-y. It's just slightly too many consonants. var is creating a new lane in row 10, which I guess is good. I do lead, but I feel that I'm close to a bingo. My rack's maturing into a bingo, so I quite like to keep the board open for that. Pretty dismal score. Usually when you score this little, there's something a lot better on offer. But what is it? No, not seeing anything. So I am going with this. Well, I do draw my vowel. So I think atropines is good. it may not be. There could be an anagram. D and L don't look great tiles to go with my rack. So is atropines good? Atropine is good. Is there a good anagram? Well, it's void challenge, so I'm going to get this down. It stays on. Fantastic. I have a 90-point lead. And VAR now has the effect of really closing the board down. Not too many bingo lanes. There's column 15 ending on the D. And there's hooks for VAR. But any bingo in row 10 is face value and opens access to scoring spots. So not a huge bingo lane. Now, I don't have a bingo-y rack, but I do have a scoring tile in the W. Still 47 tiles in the bag. I wonder if atropines has an anagram. I didn't feel that confident about it. Great, just 12 points for opponent. Probably nursing a pretty good rack. Oi takes nothing in front that I've got, so what I'm looking for is somewhere to jettison the W. I thought I'd spotted it with woe, but OL not good. Still 5 E's to come. Do I have a play ending ZA? I think VAR takes an E. The Z's gone, so I could play WE down here for 24 points, taking out these bingo lanes. Rackley pretty grim, still quite a few I's and O's to come. What would be better? This feels a pretty rubbishy Rackley. Any duplicate is going to be grim. And although there are 5 E's to come, the E is a good tile, and I'm throwing away 2 of them. Only 15 points for woe and there. Well, opponent can't score off the W particularly well in this spot. Am I? What about sticking my W next to the O of Korma? I don't think that's a better play than this. I do have an L for jail, interesting, but no A for wall. But what about some other play? I don't have to play the W. No, I'm not saying it. I am going with woe, with we rather. And I draw the X. Can I play it next to this I to score twice? I don't think so. Zoo is good and Z is good, so I can certainly play off the X. I'd quite like to play off some of these O's. So I could play Cox. Interesting. I wonder if I had a COW play last turn, which extends beyond cow. Not sure. Wow, fantastic. Bingo for opponent. And he plays the blank. Still 1 to come. Has he provided a decent X spot? Well, I don't know if it's decent. It is Ox. Keeping a vowel-heavy Rackley, but scoring 38 points, which is okay. A W not massively dangerous. Can't see a way of using that W myself. Well, I can. What about playing Woolly and retaining the X for next turn? Still these spots beside you and I for getting rid of it. G, not a good tile. But this is 30 points. It's stopping opponent from playing. The danger is that I'm leaving alone 2 really useful bingo floaters in the N and the T, which Ox obstructed. Just pausing in case I have something better. What about a play running over the top of Winters, not seeing one? And what about just playing off the G with this W? The X benefits from vowels. Is Woogle good? I don't think it is. That would be a better play. I should have checked that. Woogle, I don't think it's good. Okay, I am going with this. Am I? What about a play getting the X doubled? I play down from the T onto this double letter square, for example. No, not seeing it. I don't feel great about this play, but I am making it. Well, could have been worse. I do have a couple of vowels. And begin is good, so I have ZZ and begin. Yeah. That sorts out the duplicate I. Duplicate I gets rid of the X. The rest of the rack vulnerable to being a bad rack, but could be a bingo-y one. Now I lead by 70. But bingo lane's on the board and the blank to come. I can't think of any front extensions for Woolly. So what if the unthinkable happens and Z is blocked? Do I have a play through the N and the T? Well, not using the X, but I could play diting. Turning over tiles, retaining the X for score. Only 20 points, but I'm only playing off 1 and 2 point tiles. Dinting would play off 1 more tile. Yeah. So all of the big tiles have been played now, apart from the X. Fairly, well, bingo-y-ish set of tiles left, but some non-bingo-y ones in there. And opponent blocks my Z spot. Brutal. Okay, I really thought that would stay available, but it hasn't. So, diting. Well, that takes an A and an E in front. What about dinting? Turning over tiles. 20 points. Should draw some vowels. Quite a few to come. 14 vowels, 19 consonants. But I'm drawing 6 tiles, so it would be unlucky to totally miss the vowels, increasing my chances of drawing the blank and the remaining S and not giving too much away and retaining the X for score. Okay, all of that doesn't particularly convince me that this is a great play, but I am going with it. And I draw vowels and the K, which, although non-bingo-y, holds out the option of some half-decent scores, and I do have a lead of 70 to hang on to. Dinting has created a couple of 7-letter lanes for bingos ending in vowels, or EST in column D, but it's taken out N and T as floaters. An opponent may be drawn to playing in row 8 with this triple word square, in which case he'll be taking out those 7-letter lanes. So, only 16 for opponent. I've still got my X, so I can play Ox or Axe in that spot. I can play Dex, and although Axe and Ox score well, they hold out the opportunity of a really big score for opponent. I could play X'd here. Horrible rack leave. 33 points, quite good. What else is there? So let me see what Axe scores. That is 46, that's a decent score. How many E's to come? A lot. for going underneath AX and a Y. I think that's just too generous. Opponent could get a bingo-y score from that, but 46 points is pretty good. That would put me 100 points in the lead. Wow, tricky, 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 tricky. What about playing Axon? That's 40 points. I'm liking the look of that. Retaining the K for score next turn. Slightly vowel heavy, but it's a consonant heavy bag and only one A to come. So I do like Axon. How am I doing for time? 9 minutes on my clock. And it's not giving very much away. My K can go next to OI at the top. Still one O to come for Co. Yeah, I think this is better than playing XED. Or is it 7 more points? I think it is. Yeah. Tricky, but I am going with this. Pretty good. And although it's non-bingo-y, I knew it was non-bingo-y by retention of the K, so I'm glad to see the H because it offers more scoring potential. It's actually not a million miles away from a bingo. If one of my A's were an E, I would have hectare. Great, only, how many? 15 points for opponent. So, 9 minutes on my clock. Where can I get value from my H and my K? And what about row A? Can I get H or K next to the D? K, no. ADH, EDH, well, only as a 3-letter play, not getting tripled. However, what I can do is play Cade. And the floaters aren't useful apart from the E. I'm taking out 2 7-letter lanes. If opponent bingos onto the E, he's opening up row 1. And this is a nice rack cleave AHRT. So, is this the play? 8 minutes on my clock. A spot here for my H next to the O of Korma. Yeah, I am going with this. Not bad, actually looking close to a bingo. Not seeing anything onto the A or E. I have mark as a word ending, but no bingo there. So 13 minutes on opponent's clock and I've got a 120 point lead. Can I hang on? Mel is good. Now that signals to me that opponent may have the S or the blank because those tiles can go in front of tick. Do I have an 8-letter play ending tick? No, don't think so. So 7 tiles in the bag. I can do this, which leaves 1 in the bag, scores 24 points, provides a ton of floaters. However, I'm over 100 points in the lead. And the H not the most useful floater. The T would open access to triple word squares, and the E is face value, and the R not available. I am going with this. And I can see what opponent's got. He's got, well, these tiles plus one of them being in the bag. And they're all 1-pointers or 0-pointers, so if opponent does bingo, it should be a fairly low score. And I've got scoring tiles in the B and the Y to outrun my opponent. So where can my B and Y play? Yed, not good. Boy is good. Wow, I can play BY in column M for a really handy score. Probably about half a bingo, 30 odd. Maybe 29. Y Blent is good. Nowhere for that. Great, opponent empties the bag and has only 5 tiles, so his race is run. He is not bingoing. Has opponent created a decent scoring spot in column C for me, or column F? And I'm looking to play the B and the Y. Hole, not good. I don't think Y Brent is good. 6 minutes on my clock. The problem with BY is that I'm not going to go out next turn, but surely opponent is. Surely he must have a ton of options. So I don't think I can stop him. Except he's got 5 tiles, so maybe it's just column B that's best for him. So what to do? What do I have in column C? Just supposing I may get to play twice. Quite tricky. Yeah, I'm not seeing a way of playing off B and Y. Hob and Ahoy are both good. So I could play BYE. No, I'm just going over here, I think, for buy for 24 points. That certainly guarantees the win. But I'm not persuaded at all that that was best. Maybe I had to play through the E of Winters. Beery, perhaps. 20 points. No, that would not have been better. But opponent surely going out with this rack. He has Isle in column B and TE. T and R can go in front of HO should I get another turn, which I'm not expecting. So I could play TE. Well, no, not TERN, Nen, not good. But with 11 minutes on his clock, opponent is surely going to find an out. Now I have relent through the E of Winter, so if opponent doesn't block that spot and doesn't go out, then I will be going out. And I have Hornlet through HO, so yeah, a couple of outs for me, which I wasn't expecting when I played BY. I wonder if there were other spots for those tiles. Well, not that I can see. Well, the opponent doesn't go out, so Hornlet or Relent. 12 for Hornlet. And 12 for Relent, so I'm going with this. Just wondering if I have a play through this A. Antler. Rental. No, I'm going with this. And the final score, 274 for my opponent, 418 for me, a winning margin of 144 points, so a huge win. Let's see what I missed. It was my opponent to go first. He had this rack, and he played Cave, And bcap was an alternative, but keeping UV. My rack. And I play Korma, and that looks fine. Opponent's rack. Pretty grim. Opponent plays key, and I think on Woogle's opponent's play is always at the bottom of the analyzer if it doesn't appear higher up in order. So, and by clicking on it we can see what opponent played, key for 16, and an alternative would have been I cup for 27. My rack, and this is where I saw Furiosos but no available O. And fours, that was my play. Opponent's rack. Plays Z for 23. Let's get that on the board. And could have played Bez for 55. Wow. Much bigger score. My rack, I have the J. And Jai, that was my play. Opponent's rack. What does he do? Plays bald for 30. Does he though? No, he plays bold. Okay, I'm just getting used to the functionality of the analyzer. Plays bold for 37, that looks fine. Yeah, nothing massively better on offer. And now, this was a rack I struggled with, only one vowel. And I play var for 11. Which I didn't feel great about. And I think Invar for 16, possibly better. Five more points. Does IN add 5 to RST as a rack leave? I think it does. I think they're both nice tiles. So actually, in retrospect, I think VAR is fine. Opponent's rack. Wow, missed bingo. Updating through the D. Instead, opponent plays Gup for 18 and an OK rack leave. My rack, and I play Atropines, and the only other bingo was Tropins and Vars, but Atropines is better. Opponent's rack, wow, really nice rack. And what does opponent do? Plays Rail, missed bingo. All of these, Displant, Tinkles, Entails, Latins, Talions, and so on. So plays Rail, that's a let off for me. And here I'm struggling, very non-bingo-y rack. And I play Wee for 24, which didn't feel good, getting rid of all my E's and a poor rack leave. But look at this, no higher points on offer. And O retains the E, but provides some hotness for opponent with this vowel over the double word square and O having a number of front hooks. So we, I think, is reasonably comparable. Opponent's rack. Does he miss another bingo? No, he doesn't. He plays Winters. So that was a nice play. What else was on offer? Lornius down from the L for quite a few more points. Now, my rack. And I think I overlooked Z at this point. Let's scroll down. This is the scroll of shame when your move is a lot lower down than the top ones. And I play Woolly for 30. And yeah, this would have been much better. Ox. And I did consider that. And the W not massively dangerous in column A. So I think that was just a poor play by me. Opponents drawn the second blank, having just played the first. Doesn't have a bingo. Plays Find. And now I'm struggling with this rack. Although, what do I do? Here we go again, another scroll. I do Dinting for 20. And what was highest? Ox for 34. Yeah, I'm just playing off one tile. This isn't the worst rack leave in the world. Although it doesn't go well with the floaters in winters, so yeah, and I am turning over tiles for the blank. I didn't know it was on opponent's rack. Now, this is opponent, no bingo. Plays shad. My rack, and I've got the K with the X. What do? I play axe on for 40. But wow, axe for 46. This was the move I considered, but I felt it was setting up a super hot opportunity in row 15, so I'm happy with my play. Opponent's rack, no bingo here. And plays Doug for 15. Okay, that actually looks close to a bingo, Hekitara or something like that. And Cade, that was my play, that looks fine. Opponent's rack. Wow, quite a few vowels, quite a few bingos rather. And opponent doesn't see them, or doesn't play them, plays tick instead. My rack. And at this point there are 7 tiles in the bag, so I don't see a bingo, and I play off 6 of them to expedite the end of the game. So Thermi for 24, that was my play, and well, nothing massively better on offer. Although some of these moves could be better. Opponent's rack. And wow, lots of bingos here. What does opponent do? Plays 1 for 17. Wow, okay, well that's definitely a miss. And for my rack, an opponent, he did not choose to not play a bingo because now he's only got 5 tiles, so his bingo miss was a genuine one. And this is my rack at the end, and Betty available for 40 points. Wow. What do? Let's have a look down here. I play bye for 29. Yeah, well, I've no idea which of those is better. I'm expecting opponent to go out, and let's see, he certainly can go out, but he chooses not to and plays east, so I have 1 more turn. And these are the options. I have Hornlet and Relent as the 2 outs, and they both score the same, so there's absolutely no difference between them. And I go with Relent. And that was the end of the game. So absolutely cracking fun, always good to win, and to win by a healthy margin. Now, many thanks for all your comments below recent videos as I'm trialling Woogles. It's very helpful to read those comments and some of the points I agree with, and it's not just a matter of Woogles versus ISC. It's up to me to try and display Woogles and use it to the best of my ability to show off what it's capable of, just as it is with ISC. So do keep the suggestions coming, and if I can find ways of making the functionality work or effectively making it work, then I will endeavour to do so. So many thanks once again for your comments, and thanks to my opponent for a good battle in this game. I hope you enjoyed watching this game, and I will see you next time.